You know, you guys, you both were really fantastic in this unusual and heartwarming war movie.
Thanks.
There are so many interesting aspects to this film. I'm curious, guys in the military, because they're just, like your character, he knows that if he's going to re-up, it means the end of the relationship with him and Megan.
Mm.
Do they ever last, relationship in the military? That's something that I'm just curious about.
I mean, I'm sure they do. I mean, I'm sure they can, I should say. They can exist. There obviously has to be, I think it's like any relationship, to be quite honest, whether it's military or not, it's timing. Where are you in your life and where am I in my life? And when we meet, are we in the right place? You know, I think in this particular film, you find two people that have their own pasts and maybe haven't dealt with them, and so when they meet each other, that kind of, in my opinion, prevents them from possibly moving forward. And so I found that interesting. I think that's a very kind of realistic thing where sometimes you meet somebody, it could be you're like, this is the love of my life, but maybe the time is not right, you know, so.
And Common, your character, I thought your character is as Sergeant Gunner. You're really convincing in playing this role.
Oh, thank
So
you.
did you base on someone, or what kind of research did you do prior to the shoot?
The research, we had great people like as our consultants on the film, and we got to see like whether it was Sergeant Major Divas and also the David and Tony, these two twins that were in the Marines. These guys gave us all these different perspectives, and it just showed us how much of a human being anybody in the Marines or any military is. It's not like you could just group and just stereotype. So I just was picking their brains. We had them, I first started by talking to one of my friends who was once in the military, was once a Marine. And just, I remember David and Tony would always show me this one gunny sergeant, and the speech he was giving. I always watched that speech, and I was like, man, this is a real dude, because he was smoking a cigarette and talking to the before they were about to go off to war. And it just reminded me of how, like, man, this is a human being. These are people. So it just gave me that thing to just be like, okay, you bring what, if you're a gunny sergeant from this area, bring that to your character. Just bring it. And that's what came about.
So what went through his mind as he was giving the speech and smoking? Like, did you ask these guys, like, right before you walk out, you go to war, like, what kind of things mentally did they really prepare? I mean, they know this could be the last time they're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I would, for me, like, what I was thinking, because I had a scene that was similar to that, and it was really about, I don't remember everything I was thinking now, but I do know that it was about, if I'm telling people they're about to go out to war, I want to remind them of the things that we prepared them for, and to remind them that they are prepared to go out and do it, and that each person that's with them cares for them and has the same mission, and that they already have shown enough courage and strength to get to this point. And it's going to be, and I gave them the reality, it's going to be, you're going to be scared, crazy. But it's a certain way to center yourself and get in there and remember you prepared. So it's like, I know it's a life and death situation, but I think it's like a coach telling someone to, what it's going to be like in the game and how to deal with this. So it was good. It was inspiring for me.
And speaking of life and death, I mean, your character, he don't mind, to sign re-up and then return to combat. So I'm just curious, in the back of these soldiers, like, what is it about them keep going back?
I mean, I think there's a lot that the Marines and any military can provide. First of all, there's this family concept, this feeling that you belong to something. You have a purpose, and you have a pretty great purpose, and I think that's something that's incredibly attractive, especially to young folks coming up when you're trying to find yourself. And to know you're doing something that's got a pretty great cause. And I know for the canine handlers, I got to talk to a few of those guys, and they really knew every time they went out, every time they were on a mission, that they could die. It's a very high percentage of them that do get injured or die, and so they really have this appreciation of kind of the moment.
So mentally and spiritual, they're ready. like I could die anytime.
And it makes them appreciate the present of what they have right then in that moment. And so I think they know, they're willing to sacrifice. It's a great sacrifice, and they're willing to do it because they believe in what they're doing.
And when you're doing something that's bigger than you, it's just not you. You know, if you
Right.
know you're doing something that's for all these people that represent that are living in this country, you feel like, look, I'm doing something to protect the people here and to stand up for that and what I believe in. It becomes, you can move yourself out of the way and just do it at that point.
Yeah, it's beyond you.
Yeah.
And when they do that, when they find a bomb, the feeling that these young men and women have, it's like they know each bomb, they save lives.
Yeah.
They would say that. They go, I found this bomb, I just know I serve my purpose right now, which is a pretty incredible, I'm saving lives, and it's an incredible feeling.
Great movie and great job, guys.
Thank you,
I cried
Victoria.
so
Thank you.
much.